Inside every great fight, beneath the noise, beneath the trash talk, beneath the predictions and the pressure, lies the quiet truth that boxing is ultimately a game of solving puzzles at high speed while your life and legacy sit in the balance. Trainers repeat it endlessly. Every opponent enters the ring with a strategy, and your job is to eliminate that strategy before they eliminate you. This simple philosophy is behind the countless hours Jake Paul now spends in the gym, absorbing shots, moving out of range, staying focused on defense, and learning to survive rounds without giving anything away. His sparring sessions have shifted from offensive explosions to defensive discipline because he knows that against someone like Anthony Joshua, survival is the first art he must perfect. Every step, every feint, every blocked punch is meant to prepare him for the nightmare of facing a man who has knocked out world champions with a single mistake. Yet no amount of discipline can silence the critics. Former fighters, analysts, and insiders have lined up one after another declaring that Jake Paul has zero chance of winning. Not a small chance. Not a slim chance. Zero. And in a sport where even the word impossible is used cautiously, that level of certainty speaks louder than any prediction. But the analysts also admit one truth. Paul has not hired all these new trainers, has not bet his career reputation, and has not walked into the heavyweight den simply to play exhibition games. Something in him believes the opportunity is real. Something in him believes the gamble is worth the bruises. Whether that conviction is bravery or delusion remains part of the mystery that makes this fight so fascinating. Across the world, Anthony Joshua's camp is undergoing its own transformation. Gone are the bright lights of London. Gone is the familiar voice of Ben Davison. Instead, the cameras reveal something far more serious. Joshua training quietly with members of Alexander Usyk's team, the man who outboxed him twice and exposed the weaknesses in his rhythm, timing, and adaptability. For Joshua to step into the training environment of the fighter who defeated him is not a small adjustment. It is a recalibration of his identity. He is not rebuilding power. He is reshaping the foundation. His movements have become sharper. His footwork more patient. His defense more reactive. It is clear he is preparing not just to beat Jake Paul, but to close every gap critics have used to question him over the last few years. Criticism around the switch has not been quiet. Fighters like Dillian Whyte publicly scoffed at Joshua's decisions, calling them signs of confusion or desperation. But those closest to the sport understand the truth. Great fighters study greatness. And Usyk is greatness. Joshua stepping into that camp is less about imitation and more about evolution. He wants to enter the ring with new angles, new patterns, a calmer rhythm, and the confidence of someone who has absorbed knowledge from the very man who dismantled him. And as questions swirl about whether this is reinvention or overcorrection, Joshua remains silent, letting his training footage do the talking. Meanwhile, Jake Paul's camp has become a subject of its own intrigue. He is reportedly working closely with Don Charles, the trainer responsible for preparing Daniel Dubois, the same Daniel Dubois who knocked out Anthony Joshua in a dramatic and unexpected upset earlier this year. The symbolism is unmistakable. Paul is not just surrounding himself with coaches. He is surrounding himself with coaches who have recently helped construct the blueprint for tearing down Joshua. Critics wonder if this is strategy or mere drama, but Paul's choices reveal intention. He knows he cannot outmuscle Joshua, so he must outplan him. Don Charles brings a style built around pressure bursts, sneaky counters, and unpredictable rhythm, the exact weapons Paul would need if he hopes to land something Joshua doesn't see coming. But even as Paul selects trainers known for heavyweight knockouts and unpredictable game plans, other analysts warn that no amount of coaching can give him Joshua's dimensions. Joshua is 6 feet 6 inches with an 82-inch reach. He weighs in near 245 pounds. Jake Paul, even at his heaviest, sits around 220 pounds. The difference is not small. It is the difference between a cruiserweight and a natural heavyweight. Between someone who has lived inside the fire of championship rounds and someone who has only glimpsed them from a safe distance. Henry from popular fight commentary circles points out that Paul may believe the 8-round format favors him, giving him a chance to run, frustrate, and survive, but surviving 8 rounds with a heavyweight who can end fights with a single punch is not something Paul has ever proven he can do. Conditioning at heavyweight is not just about lungs. It is about absorbing pain at a level Paul has never experienced. And still, the mental games continue. Joshua has had elbow surgery. He has been inactive for a year. He has battled ghosts, pressure, and critics since the Usyk fights. Analysts speculate whether those doubts could creep in at the wrong moment. Teddy Atlas himself admitted that while he expects Joshua to dominate, he cannot entirely dismiss the possibility that a strange alignment of timing, preparation, and psychology could give Paul the sliver of opportunity he needs. But other voices refuse even to entertain that possibility. Johnny Nelson has called Paul's decision one of the worst miscalculations in modern boxing, insisting the risk far outweighs the reward. Amir Khan bluntly warned of severe injury. David Haye compared the matchup to a cat fighting a lion. And when Joshua himself addressed the fight, he spoke with quiet intensity. He said he had removed distractions from his life, trimmed down his team, adjusted his training philosophy, and realigned his entire focus for a new chapter. His voice carried a calmness that comes from purpose, not fear. Yet no figure in this story is more analyzed than Jake Paul himself. The Strawberry Park podcast captured the essence of Paul's entire career. He has made himself the villain so people will pay to see him lose. Whether they hate him or love him, millions tune in. This fight is no different. The world will watch not because they believe Paul can win, but because they want to witness whether this is the moment the character he has built finally collapses under real heavyweight violence. His former trainer, BJ Flores, admires Paul's ambition but fears the timing. He warns that no matter how hard Paul trains, the gap in experience remains enormous. To him, this fight is not brave, it is premature. It is a plunge into a fire that could burn him far more deeply than he realizes. Still, one truth remains: Jake Paul is stepping into the ring with one of the most dangerous punchers of this generation. If Joshua loses, boxing history will be rewritten. If Paul loses, the world will say it was expected. But if Paul somehow survives or lands a moment that shocks the world, everything changes. So now the question passes to you: is Jake Paul making the bravest move of his career, or the most reckless one? Does Anthony Joshua return as the lion who has dominated the heavyweight jungle, or will he be tested by an outsider who refuses to accept limits? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy deep, dramatic breakdowns of boxing's biggest stories, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next chapter in this incredible saga.